been to any disgusting motel rooms? Well, I have, and I'ma draw one, because why not? Hey everybody, my name is Kayz and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be drawing an old motel room. Man, it seems like the only time I ever draw a location of some sorts on this channel, that I only draw creepy or gross looking places. Outside of when I'm using a drawing as a background, like for my tree dragon drawing, for example. iCard in the corner. Check it out. Anywho, I got the idea to draw this motel because I wanted to draw some characters in a motel, but I only ended up drawing the motel itself, so yeah, maybe I'll add the characters after, but I feel like my initial idea for this was to have the characters be kind of warm and cozied up and enjoying themselves despite the terrible place they're in. So I was kind of having the characters contrast the background in a way. But like I said, I never ended up drawing anybody here, so let's just talk about the background itself. So what we got here is an old, probably 60s to 70s style motel that's been run down and almost, like, basically not taken care of at all. This place isn't abandoned, just not taken care of, so I tried to make it look as gross and dirty as possible without having actual trash on the floor. So I gave the room some old blue carpeted flooring with many gross and mysterious stains that I imagine smells really gross. Carpets tend to be really dirty because they rarely get cleaned properly and they trap germs inside the fabric-y stuff on the inside, especially in businesses where the carpets are kind of nailed to the floor, so I was trying to get that look for this room. I also have an old couch, which also has mysterious stains, rips, and burns from cigarettes. The walls are also old, dirty wallpapers, the lamp is all crooked, and the mirror on the wall is crooked, and the old plastic blinds covering the window is missing a piece. I like that the blinds are missing a piece because you get a view of the lights at night in the city streets, and it kind of brings in a feeling of a lack of safety and privacy, especially in this place that is clearly not a home and in the middle of a downtown area, which probably really isn't all that safe. On the wall, I made it so that the plug socket doesn't have a cover because whoever owns this motel was just too lazy to replace it, and the lamp was not plugged in because I thought it would be a lamp where you would have to manually plug it in and unplug it instead of flipping a switch on it or something. If you saw in the sketch for this, I was originally going to have a sticky note, probably from the manager of the hotel, saying not to use the plug because it was dangerous or something, but I eventually decided against using it in the final drawing. When it comes to colors I used, I really tried to make the room look like it was quickly and cheaply slapped together with no thought about making it look presentable or stylish. I did this by having none of the colors really go together, and you've got dark blue carpets with a grayish-green couch, yellow and orange walls, and a bronze lamp, brown moldings, a black mirror, and pinkish blinds. The final thing I wanted to add about this place in particular is where the light source is coming from. It looks kind of odd that the room doesn't appear to have any lights on, yet this big whitish light source is coming from somewhere. And I just wanted to clarify that there is an old TV off to the right in front of the couch that's turned on. I'm not sure if it's obvious or not, so sorry if I just stated the obvious here. I just had the TV turned on because I was planning to have the non-existent characters use it. I'd like to imagine that it's an old CRT TV, or even like a black and white TV. I've been to motels that have had things like the stuff I've included in this drawing, and I kind of based this drawing off these motel-going experiences. I've once been to a motel that had gross carpets like these, and just generally looked dirty all over the place. The beds even had these faux fur-looking blankets that, thinking back, were probably filled with disgusting stuff and barely cleaned. And those blankets also had cigarette burns from somebody else who had used the room before, which is what inspired the burns on the couch. The bed was also broken, one leg was gone, so what they did to fix it, instead of just like properly fixing the bed, was they placed an old piece of rotted wood under the bed to hold it up. It wasn't even nailed to the bed, it was just placed on top of it. I'm sure there was tons of disgusting things to find under the bed considering they left the piece of wood rotting there, indicating that they didn't even clean up under there, or didn't really care about the bed too much, but I didn't look, so luckily, I don't know. There was another motel room I went to which had much of the same problems as the other one that I just described, except this one had dead bugs absolutely everywhere. bugs that were crushed by whoever was in the room before and were just left there on the walls, the ceilings, and the furniture. It was disgusting. Things like these just prove that these rooms rarely ever get cleaned, and so I tried to add those little touches in the drawings. I even added some dead bugs on the walls. Okay, so that's enough motel stories for now. Let's continue talking about the actual drawing itself. So, one of the things I really wanted to accomplish with this drawing was the textures. Part of making something appear gross is making sure the viewer can really put themselves in the shoes of the piece and let them imagine what something would be like to the touch, letting them interpret the feeling of the crusty couch or the dusty mirror. So, in order to do this, I tried to make the textures in this piece very clear. The couch is supposed to be like one of those bumpy fabric couches. I don't really know how to describe it, but hopefully you understand what I mean, especially considering you can see the couch that I'm talking about, so yeah. I did this by using a clipping layer and a textured eraser brush that was supposed to be like a hair sort of texture. The reason why I wanted to have this kind of fabric on the couch is because, kind of like carpets trapping germs, I'd imagine couches with this kind of fabric with lots of lines and fabric-y stuff would trap germs more than a leather couch would, or something with a flat fabric. I'd imagine this couch is really old and has a bunch of mysterious smells and feelings, both crusty and maybe even sticky at some parts. I especially wanted it to look crusty where the burn is, as if the fabric had melted a bit. The stuffing in the couch that's coming out of it is also yellowed a bit because I'd like to think that it's been ripped for a long time and now the stuffing is also getting gross stains and a bit of crust as well. I made the mirrors dust by using a particle brush on the mirror and then duplicating that layer and moving it slightly to create the illusion of a reflection, because even things that touch mirrors' surfaces have a space between that thing and its reflection. That is, unless it's a two-way mirror. In which case, if you touch a mirror in a bar or a hotel and your finger touches your finger's reflection, I'd suggest you get out of there and get out of there fast. The mirror in the hotel isn't a two-way mirror though, it's just a shabbily hung up on the wall mirror. I also added some scratches to the mirror and duplicated those two to, again, make the reflection. And the rest of the textures aren't as complicated as the couch and the mirror, so I won't really go over them that much. I just used different brushes to draw rough-looking surfaces and grimy dirt on things. The carpet has a brush that makes it look like a carpet texture, but it also has an effect on it that creates a color distortion, staticky stuff, which I would normally use to make something look like a VHS or a screen of some sorts, but in this case, it just helped the carpet's textures a bit. I'm happy with how the textures in this drawing turned out, but if I could do this again, I definitely want to make the textures more clear. One of the things I feel I struggle with when creating backgrounds and objects within drawings is that I'm not really able to make the textures as clear. Like, for example, if you look at the couch, it kind of just looks like a flat couch with some lines. It doesn't really look like it's actually bumpy, and I want to get better at that. Like, I feel like I could do the shading and the highlights better. And another example would be with the dragon I drew in my last video. The rocks in the background, I feel like they don't really look like rocks. The surfaces do not look like a rock texture. And also with trees, the bark on the trees, I can't really make the tree textures look all that much like actual bark with actual depth in it and stuff, and I feel like that's what I struggle with most, and I really want to try to get those textures to feel more like textures. So in the future, that's something I would like to improve on in my future drawings. But for now, I feel like this is good with where I'm at drawing textures. And yeah, that's the drawing. Let me know what you think. Any and all feedback is welcome and encouraged, so please do feel free to let me know in the comments below what you think. Now it's time for my new video segment, Drawing of the Week, where I draw a character on a piece of paper till it fills up. This drawing's theme will be dragons, so to start off this segment, I'm going to draw my mascot, Duncan the Drake. Since he is my mascot, it just feels fitting to start with him, especially since with this theme, you know, he's a dragon, the theme is dragons, it's just right to start with him. This is just a short segment, and I explained it more on my other video here in the iCard, so you can check that out if you want. But yeah, let me know how you feel about this video segment in the comments below. Should I continue this, or do you guys find it annoying? And that's gonna be it for this video. If you liked what you see, please do feel free to drop a like, and if you're new to this channel, please do feel free to check out my other videos. I do speed paints, animations, and more, and of course I draw lots and lots of dragons. If you really like what you see, then why not subscribe and ring-a-ding-ding that notification bell below to get notifications for when I release new videos on this channel. I hope you all enjoyed this video and have a great day. God bless, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.